Tonight, part two of an I-Team investigation. Rush to respond. The need for paramedics, a nationwide issue, especially in places like the Coachella Valley with an older population. Tonight, Peter going deeper into this issue after riding along with local paramedics to see how this shortage impacts them right here at home. Peter.
That's right, John. Right now, there are about 760 working paramedics in Riverside County, and that's about the same number we had a few years ago. The difference is our population continues to grow. Half a dozen emergencies a day. Palm Springs paramedic Vicki Iglesias spends her days saving lives.
Whether it's respiratory, cardiac, medical, trauma.
How stressful is your job?
It can be very stressful.
That stress compounded by the nationwide shortage of paramedics, which can affect response time to emergencies.
I've experienced that where, we're just getting pulled from one end to the other of the valley, and so it's going to take us quite a bit of time if we're coming from Palm Springs trying to get to you in Palm Desert.
Iglesias works for the company AMR, which is the main provider of paramedics for most of the Coachella Valley, partnering with fire departments and other agencies for emergency medical services. Operations Supervisor Michael Moore says that since the pandemic, it has been a struggle everywhere to find paramedics. How has this shortage affected you on a day-to-day basis?
So on a day-to-day basis, we've had to have employees work longer shifts, more days a week to cover the shortage.
And that also explains why many of those employees commute to the valley from far away, including Moore, who lives in Temecula. And though he says most of AMR's paramedics have stepped up to fill the gap, the overall shortage is still a problem. When one of the paramedics calls out sick, how does that impact the rest of you?
So if somebody calls off sick, it means there's one less ambulance on the street, or we end up having to pull people and force people essentially to pick up overtime.
How concerned should people be about this shortage?
I think they should be concerned. It's something that's detrimental to the community. I mean, not only to locally, but nationwide. When there is a shortage, it could be life or death.
And the numbers tell the story. According to the American Ambulance Association, overall turnover is 23 to 40%. 38% of turnover is in the first year. And why are they leaving? Take a look at these charts. Pay and change in careers, the greatest reasons. Is it hard to keep up sometimes?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to keep up. We do our best.
In the Valley alone since 2021, the company has transitioned 20 EMTs to paramedics through its sponsorship program. Right now, another 12 paramedics are in the pipeline who should be out in the next 6 months. Countywide, 80 of AMR's EMTs have become paramedics since 2021, with an additional 80 currently in the pipeline.
So we're looking at a total of 160 employees over 5 years becoming paramedics, which is huge.
Stop chest compressions.
Something else that's huge, the new paramedic program at College of the Desert. As we reported, the free year-long program can take up to 30 students per year, nearly all of whom are from the Valley and are expected to stay here after they graduate. Are you hopeful that things will get better?
Absolutely, yeah. We are definitely starting to see an upward trend in our paramedics coming out from EMT school to paramedic school, now actually working on ambulances.
In fact, they're so hopeful that some ambulances are now equipped with 2 paramedics to respond to emergencies versus the more common paramedic and EMT. But the situation can still be difficult, especially when there's a higher call volume or a major incident.
What do you love most about being a paramedic?
What I love most about being a paramedic is just being able to serve in the community that I live in and help people in their darkest times.
Vicki Iglesias went from being an EMT to a paramedic 3 years ago and says having a well-staffed EMS system can mean the difference between life or death.
The faster we get to you, the faster we get you to the hospital, the faster you get treated. So that kind of affects everybody because you just never know when you'll have an emergency.
AMR typically gets about 80 to 100 emergency calls in the Valley per day, and of those, about half are transported to the hospital, but no day is ever the same. And again, on days with higher call volume, it can be tough for paramedics to get to everyone quickly. For more information on COD's new paramedic program and to see part 1 of my I-Team investigation, head to KESQ.com. Live in studio, Peter Doubt, News Channel 3.